Welcome back to Sustainability Essentials. I'm Kiarne Treacy, the founder and CEO at Sustainability Tracker, here with Tamara Somers, the GM of Sustainability at Xero. We're here together answering your most commonly asked questions in small business when it comes to sustainability. So, Tam, I want to flick to a question that is a little bit more your personal opinion on this one. So, small businesses aiming to stay competitive in the next decade and beyond. In your personal opinion, how significant of a role do you think that sustainability and sustainability strategy will play in the long-term resilience of your customers?
The answer here is twofold, Kiarne. On the one hand, businesses need to be sustainable simply in order to still exist 5, 10, 15 years down the track. The pace we are seeing of climate change and environmental degradation means that if your business model assumes that the world will stay the same and you can continue to do business the same way, you're going to be caught out. So you need to be thinking about, what do those changes mean for me, for my business, for my customers? It might be as simple as, maybe you're an ice cream shop and there's going to be more hot days, and therefore more customers are going to be wanting to eat ice cream on more hot days. But maybe you're also going to need to up your refrigeration because you're keeping your ice cream at the right temperature is going to be more of a challenge. So you need to be thinking about, how do I invest now and over the longer term in order to make sure that my business is still able to operate as the world changes around it. And I think the second thing that I'd say about resilience and sustainability is that we know that as we get more and more younger consumers coming into the market with money to spend, sustainability credentials play more and more of a role in their purchasing choices, in their purchasing decisions. We see with millennials and Gen Z that they are far more likely, for example, to shop secondhand, to look at the environmental impact of the products that they purchase, to look at, what's the labour used to produce these goods and services. And, that as they have more purchasing power, more consumer decisions will be impacted by that. So if you want your business to stay relevant to those consumers, you need to be thinking about how to embed that.
I want to add to that. I think that's so bang on. And I think sometimes when I'm talking to people that say no one's willing to pay for it right now, it's true. In a lot of cases, we are in a cost of living crisis where we can't afford to pay for it right now in a lot of cases. But if you are talking to people who are going to be buying homes, groceries, cars, clothing in the next 5 and 10 years, those very same people, not 5 or 10 years ago, were striking school for climate action. So start thinking about who the customer will be in 5 or 10 years, not just who the customer is today. That's a really important point.
I think there's also a really key demographic shift that we're seeing in terms of where young people are prepared to take their talent. We know that a recent Deloitte survey that just came out said that 60% of Gen Z and millennial employees will consider the sustainability and overall ESG performance of a business before they work for them. And that goes for small businesses as well. If I'm a graduate and I'm looking for somewhere to ply my trade, I might be more attracted to the hairdresser that's running, vegan products and running more sustainably. I might be more attracted to working for the accounting firm that also offers carbon accounting. I might be more attracted to working for, the local retail business that has a real emphasis on selling and distributing sustainable products. So I think that talent question is also really relevant for small businesses.
Absolutely. I've seen examples of the salons, the example that you just gave, so sustainable salons being members of sustainable salons getting better talent. I've seen examples of accountants coming to me saying, hey, we've made accounting cool by, we're bringing this new generation of accountants in who actually want to do this work. And of course, I've got an example of that in my business. I'm able to attract the best talent because they want to work in an organisation that's dedicated to sustainability. It's bang on, and if you want to attract good talent, it's one of the first questions that they're going to ask you.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to resilience, yes, you do need to think about how you survive in a sustainability revolution, But also you need to think about how you survive when it comes to climate change. In the example that Tam gave about the ice cream shop, are you going to sell more ice cream? Are you going to need new refrigerators to store that ice cream? This is the reality side of this question. Forget about all of the government regulatory change and all of the customer demand. If you think purely about how does your business survive, and that applies to people with vehicle and transportation, it applies to clothing and fashion brands that have parts of the year where they have, you know, like winter and summer ranges and things like that. So you might be surprised that above all of this, climate change is actually the biggest thing for you to be looking out for when it comes to resilience. And we've got a few more questions to answer straight after this.